the United States has once again launched airstrikes in Yemen. This significant escalation comes after a period of relative calm. On March 15, 2025, American forces targeted multiple locations. These strikes were ordered by President Donald Trump. They mark a departure from the more restrained approach of previous administrations. The Pentagon confirmed the strikes. They emphasized the use of precision-guided munitions. The intended targets were Houthi military infrastructure and facilities. This includes missile launch sites, command centers, and weapons depots. The strikes are part of a broader effort to counter Iranian influence in the region. This latest military action has drawn criticism and concern from around the world. Many fear a dangerous escalation of the conflict in Yemen. The already dire humanitarian situation in the country is expected to worsen. The international community is urging all sides to show restraint and seek a peaceful resolution. The recent U.S. airstrikes in Yemen are a direct response to escalating Houthi aggression. The Houthis, backed by Iran, have been increasingly targeting commercial shipping in the Red Sea. This vital waterway is a crucial artery for global trade. Houthi attacks on shipping have disrupted international commerce. This has caused alarm among world leaders. The United States has condemned these actions as a threat to global security. The Trump administration sees these strikes as a necessary step to protect American interests. The U.S. argues that Iran is ultimately responsible for the Houthis' actions. They accuse Tehran of providing the Houthis with sophisticated weapons and training. This includes the technology used in the recent attacks on shipping. The strikes are also seen as a way to pressure Iran back to the negotiating table. The U.S. ultimately aims to curb Iranian influence in the region. They see the Houthis as a proxy force for Tehran. By striking at the Houthis, the Trump administration aims to send a strong message to Iran. They want to deter further support for the Houthis and other militant groups. The recent U.S. airstrikes in Yemen focused on key Houthi infrastructure. The Pentagon claims to have used precision-guided munitions to minimize civilian casualties. However, reports from the ground paint a grim picture. Early estimates suggest significant casualties, including civilians. One of the primary targets was a Houthi stronghold in Sana'a. This building was believed to house key leaders and military commanders. Other strikes targeted military sites in Taiz and a crucial power station in Dayan. This power station is strategically important. It supplies electricity to much of northern Yemen, including the capital, Sana'a. The strikes caused widespread power outages across northern Yemen. Hospitals and essential services are struggling to function. The attacks also damaged or destroyed vital infrastructure. This includes roads, bridges, and communication networks. This will make it even harder to deliver humanitarian aid to those in desperate need. The full extent of the damage and casualties is still unknown. Access to information is limited due to ongoing fighting and security concerns. However, early reports from international aid organizations suggest a dire situation. They warn of a potential humanitarian catastrophe if the fighting continues to escalate. Section 4. Global reactions and regional tensions. The recent U.S. airstrikes in Yemen have drawn sharp condemnation from many countries. Russia condemned the strikes as a violation of international law. Iran reacted furiously, calling it an act of aggression. The European Union expressed deep concern and urged restraint. The UN held an emergency meeting but took no concrete actions. U.S. allies, Saudi Arabia and UAE supported the strikes. The strikes have further inflamed regional tensions. Section 5. The human cost of escalation. The recent U.S. airstrikes in Yemen have exacerbated the already dire humanitarian crisis. Yemen has been ravaged by civil war since 2014. The conflict has created one of the world's worst humanitarian disasters. Millions of people are on the brink of famine. The strikes have caused widespread displacement. Thousands of families have fled their homes in search of safety. Hospitals and medical facilities are overwhelmed with casualties. The already fragile healthcare system is struggling to cope. The airstrikes have also disrupted the delivery of humanitarian aid. Many organizations have been forced to suspend their operations due to security concerns. This has left millions of people without access to food, water, and medical care. The international community has condemned the attacks and their impact on civilians. The UN has called for an immediate ceasefire and unimpeded access for humanitarian aid. However, the situation on the ground remains dire. The recent escalation of violence underscores the urgent need for a peaceful resolution to the conflict in Yemen. The international community must work together to address the root causes of the conflict and find a lasting solution. The lives of millions of innocent people depend on it.